Hello and welcome to the first video of the chapter electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction is a very important and an interesting topic. Our life has been greatly enhanced since Michael Faraday discovered the concept of electromagnetic induction, and it has made our life lot easier. We can generate electricity to do useful work, and all these equipments, the generators, turbines, transformers, electric guitars, lot of these or in fact all of these are the working is possible only because of the phenomenon called electromagnetic induction. So let us quickly study what is electromagnetic induction. So to understand electromagnetic induction, we have to first understand what is meant by flux of a magnetic field. So if we remember our definition of flux of an electric field when we studied the Gauss law, flux of an electric field was nothing but integration of E ds. Similarly, the flux of magnetic field is defined by integration of m ds. What is ds? ds is a small area. So the product of magnetic field into area is known as the flux of magnetic field. Just to explain the concept in a little more detail and in a more intuitive manner, suppose I have a circular ring. So the area of this ring is say pi r square area, and I have placed a magnet near this ring, and suppose it produces, for some instant I have a magical magnet which can produce a uniform magnetic field throughout this ring. So now the magnetic field is, suppose for time instant is B in this region. So the total magnetic field flowing across this inside this circular ring will be equal to the flux of the magnetic field. The flux of the magnetic field will be equal to the magnetic field B into area pi r square. So magnetic field into area is the flux of the magnetic field, similar to the concept of electric field, where the flux of electric field was the electric field into area, and it basically gives us how many lines of forces are passing through this hole or inside this hole. So in an ideal magnet, or in my magical magnet, this B is supposed to be constant throughout this ring. So we got this formula. But in actual reality world, the magnetic field due to this magnet will vary from different points across this at different points of the inside this loop. The magnetic field will vary, and it will also depend on the distance of this magnet. So if the magnet is closer, the strength of magnetic field will be more here, and so if the B is more, then flux will be more. But if I take away the magnet, I put it outside or move it far from this loop, the strength, because the magnetic field is inversely proportional to the square of the distance, as I remove the magnet away from this circular loop, the strength of the magnetic field will decrease, so the flux will decrease. So if I want to change the flux of the magnetic field passing through this loop, I can do two things. First, I can change the magnetic field, or I can change the area of the circular loop itself. And now let us take the practical and the general case, where at every point this magnetic field will be different, B1, B2, B3. So what is the total flux through this magnetic field, through this ring? that flux will be obtained by multiplying this B1. Here at this small point the magnetic field is B1, here at this small point the magnetic field is B2, and here at small point magnetic field is D3. Let the area of this small point be ds1, small area. Let the small area of this point be ds2. Let the small area of this point be ds3. So the total flux through this will be addition of all B1 into ds1 plus B2 into ds2 plus B3 into ds3. Oops. My system is getting weird. So anyway, continuing, B3 into ds3. So addition of all the small fluxes through these small areas. So B1 ds1 is the small flux through this small area, plus B2 ds2 is the small flux through this area. So addition of all these small fluxes is nothing but we can write it for this should be BDS. Magnetic field is denoted by the term B. So the total flux through any area is given by this formula phi is equal to integration of BDS. Now, having learned what is the flux of the magnetic field, let us go into Faraday's law. So Faraday's law says that if I change this flux through any closed loop or closed wire or closed conducting wire, then if I change the flux, then there will be an induced EMF in this wire, and this wire will start to, because of that induced EMF, some current will start flowing across this wire. So mathematically the induced EMF will be equal to minus. Why this minus? We will just discuss why there is a minus sign, but the induced EMF is equal to the rate of change of flux. So the quicker I change this flux, the induced EMF will be more. And if there is an induced EMF, suppose there is an induced EMF, because of this induced EMF, a current will start flowing through this wire loop, and if I have a resistance R, which is the effective resistance of the whole loop, then from Ohm's law I will get I is equal to induced EMF by R, and induced EMF is nothing but d phi by dt. So it will be just 1 by R d phi by dt. So what the Faraday's law says, that if I start, say suppose, how can I change the magnetic flux through this current carrying loop? If I start bringing this magnet either closer to this or away from this, away from the circular loop, or I start increasing the area, all this will change my flux or the BDS, the product of the magnetic field into the area. If I change my flux, so if I just substitute phi from this equation, it will just be, I don't want to make it very complicated but it will something look like B rate of change of flux, and flux can be written as integration of BDS. So just substituting the value of phi from this equation in this equation to get this equation. However, the most important and generally used notation is the induced EMF is equal to the rate of change of flux, and we will see a few examples, and by going through those examples you will be become more comfortable in applying these concepts to different types of situations. So now one important question is still remains is, what will be the direction of current? So Faraday's law says that okay, if I change the flux, if I change the flux, there will be a EMF induced, which will in turn induce a current. So what will be the direction of current? The direction of current in this particular case can be two possible directions. One is anti-clockwise direction, and another is clockwise direction, which is this direction. So clockwise, it can be either clockwise or it can be anti-clockwise. So the direction is given by Lenz's law, and Lenz's law states that the direction of the induced current is such that it opposes the change that has induced it. So Lenz's law says that direction is such, direction of current is such that it opposes the change, okay, that has induced it. So suppose I am moving the magnet here towards the loop, okay. So if I am moving the magnet towards this loop, we all know that the magnetic lines of force goes away from the north pole, correct. So this is my direction of magnetic lines of force, okay. So if I start moving the magnet towards the loop, towards this loop, then the magnetic lines of force which is going inside this downwards towards downwards through the current carrying loop increases. So as I move, more and more number of lines of force will increase, the strength of magnetic field will increase. That means the more and more magnetic lines of force will be pointing downwards. So the direction of induced current will be such that it opposes this increase in magnetic lines of force in the downward direction. In other words, the direction of induced current will be such that it produces magnetic lines of force in upward direction. Then only it can oppose the change which is happening, which I am forcing on it by bringing the magnet downward. So we all know that any current carrying loop creates a magnetic field. So this current, as soon as, because of the induced EMF E, because I am changing the flux, as soon as I am inducing EMF, the current, somebody is at door, let me get it. Okay, welcome back. So I was saying that Lenz's law says that the induced EMF, induced current will resist this increase in magnetic lines of force which are increasing in the downward direction. So I know that if a magnetic current carrying wire carries current in a anti-clockwise direction, then if you go to the magnetic field video, you can find out that if a current carrying loop, what is the direction of the magnetic field produced by a current carrying loop which carries current in anti-clockwise direction. So there are graphic videos which have nice pictures in the magnetic field videos, which will show you how to find the direction of the magnetic field. But to summarize, a current carrying loop produces a magnetic field, and that direction of that magnetic field can be known by the right hand thumb rule. And if I apply that right hand thumb rule, I will find that current carrying circular loop carrying current in an anti-clockwise direction will produce a magnetic field in the top direction, and a current carrying conductor carrying current in an clockwise direction, okay, will produce a magnetic field which will be in this direction. So let us look at this, okay. Lenz's law states that the current will be produced in such a way which will oppose this increase in number of magnetic lines which are going in downward direction. So that means it will induce a current in such a way that the magnetic field, how can I oppose the magnetic lines of force going downward direction? By producing magnetic lines of force going in upward direction. And how can I produce a magnetic lines of force going in upward direction? By carrying current, so that the current is moving in an anti-clockwise direction. Okay, let's take the reverse example. Suppose let me put it in a different color. Suppose I start moving the magnetic lines of force. Suppose I start moving this magnet in an upward direction. So what will happen if I move the magnet in upward direction? The strength of magnetic field will start decreasing here. That means the number of magnetic lines of force which are going in downward direction are now decreasing instead of increasing. So it is decreasing now. So according to Lenz's law, what will be the direction of induced current? The direction of induced current will be in such a way that it opposes this decrease in these blue lines. So how can it oppose the decrease? By producing magnetic lines of force which are in the same direction. Okay, so that means the induced current will produce magnetic field which are going in downward direction. So in what way the current can flow so that the magnetic lines of force are in downward direction? If they flow in clockwise. So in that case, if I move the magnet up, in that case the magnetic the current will be induced the current will be induced in a clockwise direction. Now can I find, using this information, can I find what will be the direction of my induced EMF? Yes, easily. I know that the current flows from positive terminal to the negative terminal. So because current is flowing like this, what will be the direction of induced EMF? Because it is going from a positive terminal to a negative terminal, positive will be this, negative will be this. So the induced, if I replace all this by a battery whose EMF is like this, E, okay, that means the direction of induced EMF will be like this. The positive terminal will be like this, negative terminal will be like this. What would have been the direction of the induced EMF in my first case, where I am moving the magnet downward? In that case, my current was flowing like this, correct? My current was flowing like this. So again, in that case, how do I find? Now that means the current is flowing like this. So we know in that case, when I am moving the magnet towards the current carrying loop, in that case my direction of induced current is like this, and my direction of induced EMF, because current always flows from positive to negative, so that is the convention of I. So the direction of induced EMF in that case will be positive terminal here, negative terminal here. Okay, so this is what I will be covering for this video. In next video we will discuss something more about the nature, why currents are induced when magnetic fluxes are changed. We will discuss the reason of the induction of current. By the way, one important thing which I missed was the negative sign here. The negative sign comes because of the Lenz's law. Lenz's law says that the direction of induced current or induced EMF is such that it opposes that change. Okay, and because it opposes that change, a negative sign is there in the Faraday's law. Okay, I guess that completes what I wanted to discuss for this video. See you in the next video.